We are going to finish off on a Tottenham update going into the last 24 hours of Tottenham transfer rumours. And first, we're going to talk about Ademola Lookman. Give Me Sports says that Tottenham are set to revisit their interest in Ademola Lookman following his public row with Gian Piero Gasparini. That was some row, wasn't it? With
Yeah.
Gasparini.
Obviously, he missed that penalty, which caused Gasparini to say he's one of the worst penalty takers he's seen. Even in training, he doesn't score any, he said, which Lookman took offence to, which understandably so. He's been brilliant for them over the last 18 months, Lookman. So I think he's really in that stage of his career where he's hitting his peak, and he's found, like some players, it just takes a bit longer to really find themselves, and I think he's really found a home at Atalanta. I really like the look of him whenever I watch him play in the Champions League for Atalanta. I think he would be good for us, but is he a Son replacement? Is he good enough to really take over the mantle from Son? Do we need someone better than that? Is he good enough to be a winger to compete with someone like Son? I think so, but we've got Odebear, we've got young players there at the moment. So
He plays up front for Atalanta, though, doesn't he? Plays in like a 2 up top.
Well, Ortegi, he can either play off the left or up front too. I don't think he'd be a number 9 for us. So I just don't think that would ever be the case unless we play a different formation. So yes, I can see Tottenham sniffing out a deal because he's going to have a year left on his deal. So we probably got a good amount for him. And I wouldn't mind him. I think he's a good player. So I wouldn't say no to him, but I don't know if I don't know. Something tells me it just wouldn't be the right thing.
Yeah, I'm undecided on it. I mean, he has been in England in the past and hasn't really set the world alight, to put it lightly, but he seemed to have taken his career up a notch over the last couple of years. So it'd be interesting to see what the scouting staffs think of him, but I feel like this is the one that Spurs could potentially do, because I think Spurs might see this with as a bit of an opportunity, with him obviously falling out with the manager and also going into the last year of his contract.
Yeah, but I also think when it comes to falling out with the manager, these things can sometimes be very temporary, heat of the moment, and then they can patch things up. So I wouldn't rule that out either.
Yeah. But also Fabrizio Romano did say after that the plan was, before the falling out, for him to leave at the end of the season anyway.
Yeah, so maybe that's still the case.
Our favourite publication, Fijajes, are saying that Tottenham chairman Daniel Levy is trying to take advantage of Leroy Sane's contractual situation and bring him to Spurs as a free agent at the end of the season. Spurs are now in talks with Sane over a move this summer.
No, we're not.
No, we're definitely not.
We are not.
Because the amount of wages he's probably on and the amount of wages he's probably going to want as moving on a Bosman just makes this an absolute no-go for Tottenham.
He's also, 29? He's getting on a bit. I'm not saying he's a bad player. I love Sane. I thought when he was at City, he was one of those exciting wingers in Europe. Unfortunately, he had that injury, and he's just never really looked the same, unfortunately, since he came back.
Didn't he have a very good season last year?
He was good, but he's never really been as good as he was, I think, for me, Leroy Sane. He's still got talent and he's still got ability.
8 goals, 11 assists last season.
I'm not saying he's bad. I'm just saying he's never really been as good as he was in his peak years at City. I think that injury, he's never quite got back to his best. And I'm not going to say no to Sane if he's available. I also think he provides a very different option to Brennan on the right-hand side. So I think gives us different options. I just don't think it's realistic in the slightest.
Yeah, but on a free at the end of the season, it'll be interesting to see where he does end up, because I do think Bayern Munich are not going to renew his contract.
Yeah, I probably agree. I just don't think he's going to be
goes
Tottenham.
to like Saudi or something.
Probably the ones who can afford him. Would he go to I wouldn't be surprised if Man United or something go for him. That kind of deal. Arsenal. I don't know if he goes to Arsenal. I don't know. Something. You could compete with Saka, but they've got one area net there now. I don't know if he's going to go for Sane. Doesn't seem like a very Arsenal type signing.
I feel like it could. I mean, they just signed Raheem Sterling, didn't they? As I know, it was a panic one on the last day of the window, but I think Sane could provide kind of cover and also a real fight for places on both flanks. So,
could be a smart signing, to be fair.
Yeah. And they were linked with him last summer as well. Next up, Caught Offside, another great publication, say that Tottenham are interested in 26-year-old Juventus centre-back Federico Gatti, who is also an Italian international. However, Tottenham face competition from West Ham and Nottingham Forest. Juventus are willing and are open to selling Gatti for around 35 million euros to finance their transfer business. Do you know much about him?
I don't, but in terms of us signing a centre-back, obviously a lot depends on Romero, what's his plans for the summer. Dragoshin, are we just not going to consider him an option now because of that injury? I guess we've now got Danso, Van der Ven there. I do think we're going to probably need another one. Especially if Romero leaves, we definitely need another one.
If he stays, we don't.
If he stays, yeah, we probably don't. If Davis is going to stay as well. So I don't see us getting Gatti. And if we sell Romero, is Gatti the answer? Well, what do you think what Brain said yesterday? Do you think Danso could be better than Romero?
Better than Romero?
That's what Brains was saying.
I don't know. I think it's too early to tell to see if he's going to be better than Romero, but
I think it's crazy talk.
I would err on the side of caution with that kind of talk because we all know how good Romero can be, and Romero is like still fairly, what is he, 25, 26?
26 now, yeah. Maybe
so, I mean, he's
27.
going into the prime of his career where Danso should already be there kind of thing.
I think they're similar age, aren't they?
I think, isn't Danso like 2 years older than him or something?
No, I don't think. I think Danso's 27, 26.
Is he?
Yeah.
Oh, if they're at a similar age, then even more of a sense, like, I think Romero's ahead of him.
Yeah, and I think Danso doesn't have that passing range that Romero has. Romero's passing's...
Yeah, look, I think there is a case to that, but I also feel like from what I've seen over the last couple of games, I think Danso might get caught out a bit less than Romero.
Potentially.
Last but not least, Football League World are claiming that Leeds United are attempting to explore the possibility of signing Manor Solomon from Tottenham Hotspur on a permanent basis in the summer following his sensational form this season for Leeds.
I think we'd be open to selling him if we get a good fee for him, to be honest. But he has been really good. So is it worth keeping him and seeing if he can be a good option for us instead of signing one?
Yeah, I would like to see him back. I would like to see him back here to see what he can do in pre-season, because I think he has the attributes that we really need in this squad in terms of dribbling ability. Obviously, he's shown in the Championship now he can get regular goals and assists. Can he translate that into the Premier League? Is obviously a question mark, but I think from out-and-out attributes, I think he's perfect for this system.
I know, but I just don't see where he fits in at the moment because we've got a lot of wingers off that in play in his position. I just think sometimes you got to know when to sell, and I think if we get a good fee, I think that's we probably will sell. To be honest,
He played like 4 games for us though.
I know, but I don't really see a place for him in the squad.
But, I mean, the reality is, right, if he was part of the squad this season, he would have seen a lot of minutes.
Yeah, because Odegaard got injured, but now Moore will be a year older. Odegaard hopefully will be a bit more injury free. Still got Sonny there, so
can he play on the right?
I mean, he doesn't, but yeah, I guess he can. But again, it's trying to fit him in a position where it's not his natural position. So I just think if we get a good fee for him, so sometimes that's something we've not done, to be honest, in recent years. In terms of we've not been great sellers. We've hang on to players for too long, and we don't get the best price. And I think his stock's high. If we get a good price for him, you're probably best off selling him, I think. But again, if no one's really interested in getting a good price for him, and we'll maybe take a good look at him in pre-season, see if we can stick around here, because I think he's clearly shown, he's back on top of his game. He's confident. We signed him for a reason as well. So I wouldn't just discard him or send him out on loan or something. But I think if we do get a good fee for him, I think it's probably worth cashing in, because we also good for PSR because he got him on a free, so it's pure profit, all that kind of stuff. So if we get like 20-25 million, that'd be good.
Would be, but I mean, like, if he can translate this form for Leeds to Tottenham in the Premier League, I mean, you've got a really good player there.
Yeah, that's also true. There's question marks whether he can, but that's true.
Of course, but I think what we need is for Ange to have a pre-season with him and to have a proper look at him, or whoever the manager is for pre-season, to have a proper look at him and see if they can do anything with him, because the pre-season that he had this year wasn't a real kind of test, because he was coming back from his injury. He wasn't fully fit. He couldn't really see what he was about. He had a terrible pre-season, didn't he? So I think that we need to have another look at him. But look, that is your Tottenham update for today. Let me know in the comments section below all your thoughts regarding all the news update we've brought to you